Well, hello there, FC Dallas Curious fan, and welcome to another edition of Third Degree the podcast. Last week, we stepped away from Frisco to talk to Denton Diablo's owner, Damon Gochner, but we'll be a little closer to Toyota Stadium this week as we talk with FC Dallas's eMLS player, Ihab I9Ebs Abualneel. Thanks for joining us, Ihab, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So the first thing we always seem to do with every guest is their soccer story. Everyone in the US, they have their story of how they came to love the game, get into it, and their team. So what is your story?
So I grew up playing soccer the second I could obviously, kick a ball. Me and my brother used to always, inside the house, just be kicking the ball around. I remember actually my first, soccer ball that I remember having was like a little plush soccer ball that we got from a Dallas Burn game at the Cotton Bowl. So my dad took us, like me, my brother, my cousins, and like my uncle and all that stuff. We went to, I remember it was Dallas Burn versus DC United. And, we were like, it was like they were giving like this plush soccer ball and we brought it home and we were just like kicking it nonstop and just playing around with it. And like, I remember actually to the point to where I got so competitive at such a young age that like I would do anything to win. Like I actually kicked my brother in the face because he went, for the ball. So we used to do like in our house, we used to do a how the soccer, the shootout style used to be back in MLS, like whenever it first started off, that's what we used to do. So the goal used to be like the entrance of the hallway and everything like that. So my brother went for the ball. He was goalie, and like I just kicked him right in the face, and it was like I just enjoyed playing soccer like from that young of an age. And then my parents signed me up for a team, and I was actually really good. Like I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but my parents still tell the story to this day about how parents of other teams would come up and ask for my birth certificate because I was taller than all the other boys, that I was playing against. And like, I was just dominating everybody. So whenever I I kept on playing growing up and all that stuff. And then I actually ended up playing for the Dallas Magpies, who was a select team here in Dallas, but they obviously disbanded and all that stuff. So it was cool. That's pretty much how I got started. Obviously, my fandom for Dallas or FC Dallas started back with Dallas Burn ever since I went to the games. I was absolutely terrified of fireworks, but, I just loved going out to the Cotton Bowl with my family and all that stuff, and it was always a great time.
So you're like 27, right?
Yeah, I'm 27.
So you are really pretty much a lifelong FC Dallas / Dallas Burn fan.
Yeah, absolutely, as long as I can remember. I don't remember, like, obviously, like the inaugural season or anything like that. I just remember, being maybe 4 or 5 and going to, like, my first Dallas Burn game, and it just completely changed my life. So the fandom definitely started from there. I have, like, so many memories of just going to games with, my uncle. I have, like, an uncle who's, like, a couple years older than me, and, he was... I can't remember. He was like not even like 13. He was maybe 13 years old, and like I was like 9, and my brother was 11, and it would just be us going on a dart train, going to like the Dallas Burn games, telling our parents, "Yeah, we're gonna go do this. We're gonna go hang out with other people, like our other cousins or something like that," and then we would literally just sneak off to the dart, take the dart from Plano all the way to downtown Dallas, and like we had no cell phones back then because cell phones weren't really big back then. So I've definitely put my life on the line a couple times for Dallas Burn and FC Dallas.
I can almost hear people complaining that you can't get the dart to Frisco now.
Yeah, it was a cool, cool experience, definitely. I just definitely remember doing that and being scared, because like we would like sometimes like we would have to take like the bus as well, after like the train and everything like that. So it was kind of crazy, like looking back on it. Like I would never let my kids do that in a million years, what we used to do. So it was a cool experience though, for sure.
Definitely, and I seem to remember from the press release back in December, the story that you met your wife at the Open Cup final.
Yeah. My cousin was telling, like, she was like, "Hey, I have a friend. She wants to go to the game." And we had like extra tickets and all that stuff. Like, we were like a co-ed team, co-ed intramural, or not intramural, co-ed soccer team, like through Dallas. And my cousin said, "Hey, I have a friend that wants to go, but we have extra tickets, and some people like aren't coming. Can like she have a ticket?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And me and her ended up sitting next to each other, and we just honestly just hit it off and all that stuff. So yeah, that story is true. We met each other at the FC Dallas game, and still going strong, and everything's working out.
That's always good. So, do you go to games together now?
Yeah, we do. We went to the last game before the season got postponed. So we went to the Montreal game, obviously as a lifelong Arsenal fan as well. Actually, I've been a longer fan of FC Dallas than obviously Arsenal, but Thierry Henry was obviously is coaching Montreal, so it was like obviously a dream to see him like live and all that stuff. Like even though he was just coaching, but that was the last game that we went to. And then even the year before, we would go like to games here and there. Whenever like we weren't as busy or anything like that. We love going to games. It's just a great time to get out of the house, watch some good soccer and all that stuff.
Definitely, and it's awesome that you have that together, and
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
all good memories, sort of rooted in that.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's people we tell people that's how we met, and they're just like, yeah, you guys are just match made in heaven, and we're just like, yeah, we are.
It's good, especially in the Tinder age, you know.
Yeah, that's you hear about a lot of people meeting each other through Tinder, through all these apps and all that stuff, but we met each other the old-fashioned way, I guess you could say.
Definitely, always good to have a cool story to
Hmm.
tell. Um, and then obviously, the other factor is you're a FIFA pro. So how did you get into playing FIFA and like how I guess which year's game was the first one you had?
So I remember playing FIFA back in FIFA like 98, FIFA 99, all those games. Um, and, you know, it definitely like grew on me because that's obviously I played the sport. I loved the sport. I loved video games and all that stuff early on as a kid. And like I would even do like the craziest things. Like if I couldn't afford, obviously like my parents didn't really care if I like played the games or anything like that. But I wanted to like buy my own games. So if I couldn't afford a FIFA game, I would go like rent it for as long as I could. Obviously not being like a smart financial kid at the time, not knowing that, if you went to Blockbuster, you got a game, you kept it for 3 months, playing it nonstop. Eventually, Blockbuster's going to charge you late fees, all that stuff, and you just got to end up paying for it. So my parents ended up just paying for it and all that stuff. But I used to do that for almost every FIFA. I just never knew. I was just like, oh, well, we ended up getting the game for free. But in reality, I was, making Blockbuster wait 3 months to even, do anything, So, that started my fandom with FIFA for sure. And then as I went off to college and all that stuff, because I went to Texas Tech, I never played FIFA. I mean, I played it like with my friends here and there, but it was never like a competitive thing. I never played Ultimate Team. I would just like buy FIFA at the start of the year, play with my friends whenever they wanted to play, like get up to season one or division one in seasons, and just after that, just sell the game off after I got kind of done with it. And then after me and my wife got married, my brother-in-law told me, you should try FIFA Ultimate Team. And actually, it was like before me and my wife got married, like, whenever like we were about to get married, he told me you should try Ultimate Team. I was like, I know about it. It's confusing. No thanks. Like, I didn't understand like the chemistry aspect, all that stuff. So, I didn't try it out. And then I eventually said, you know what? I got some time right now. Like, I think I was like sick or something like that. So I had like a week off from work. So I just, got into it, and I got into it really heavy. I ended up breaking my heel as well. Um, and me and my wife were supposed to go to Disney World like in 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks, like 10 days. So I broke my heel. I had no idea I had a broken heel. I was walking around on it. I was doing whatever I could. I was just like, it hurts really badly, but what am I going to do? It is what it is. I don't want to go to the doctor. I hate going to the doctor. So we went to Disney, and, my sister came with us. And so I couldn't hang at the parks all day. My foot was killing me. I would go for about a few hours, all that stuff. And I would come back to the hotel while my sister and my wife were at the parks, and I would literally just be watching Ultimate Team videos on how to do this, like what is Ultimate Team and all that stuff. So we came back from Orlando, and that's it. I honestly just like got into it, started like opening packs, started doing all this stuff here and there. And then within like 2 months of me playing Ultimate Team consistently and like qualifying for Weekend League and all that stuff, I was getting top 100. And so I always obviously knew I was good, but to get top 100 in the world at, so early on, it's just kind of crazy. So that's honestly how it started. And, I've been climbing the ladder ever since, to be honest. FIFA 19 was definitely probably obviously my first year at the very beginning of the game. Um, and, I was playing in qualifiers, and like I was so close to qualifying for so many events. I was like one game away from qualifying to like London, Barcelona, like Budapest, out everywhere, So I just, unfortunately, like I never got a chance to attend an event due to, just coming up short in the last game. Like I've had so many heartbreaking stories. So, it's kind of sad. And then, obviously FIFA 20 came out. I kept my momentum going, and, my name was out there. So FC Dallas reached out to me, and then that's how I became the eMLS Pro. Very long story. Very, very long story.
So there wasn't like when you came to join FC Dallas, there wasn't like a. I'm trying to think even what the phrase would be. Like there wasn't like a, win a tournament and get in or get noticed or anything. It was just they were actively, looking at players in the area.
Yeah, so there was no tournament or anything like that. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, and I will say this, and I will mean it. I kind of feel like the reason why FC Dallas picked me without having to, do a tournament like some other teams did and all that stuff was honestly just due to the fact that I had such a good reputation in the FIFA community. So many people like gave my name out to FC Dallas apparently. So that's like one of the eMLS turnover guys, Edward, he knew about me. He's been following me since like FIFA like 18, whenever I like was hitting top 100s and all that stuff. And so he knew about me, and then he goes, "Hey, like I heard from like my other pro friends that Alan Avi wasn't going to be re-signing or something was going on." And so I said, "Okay, like I'm going to get on it." And then I told him, "Hey, I'm interested." And because I was supposed to actually play in the Sporting Kansas City tournament for their eMLS Pro spot. But then I decided I don't want to represent any club that's not FC Dallas. I want to represent my club because FC Dallas is what I know, what I've always supported, and it would just kind of feel wrong wearing a different badge. So I told him, I was like, hey, can you tell Sporting Kansas City I don't want to play in their tournament anymore, and I just want to pursue the FC Dallas thing. And then he said, yeah, actually FC Dallas already has you on their list, so they'll be in touch with you soon. And then that's pretty much how it just, went about. And I honestly feel like I'm kind of like from FIFA 19, there was no one in the Dallas area, and even FIFA 20, there was no one in the Dallas area that accomplished what I accomplished and was having like the success in terms of like qualifiers and being considered one of the best players in North America um, at the time, which I really was. That's the crazy part about it. On FIFA 19, I was always finishing like top three in qualifiers and all that stuff, beating some of the best people in North America themselves. So it's kind of crazy and surreal, but things happen for a reason.
Definitely, and I guess just for context for people that aren't too familiar with FIFA and Ultimate Team, when you talk about things like Weekend League, that's you're putting together your team based on card packs, applying things like chemistry to them to sort of improve certain ratings, and then you're playing other players in it's 30 games, right?
Yeah, it's 30 games. FIFA 18 and 17 it was 40 games.
Oh wow!
But yeah, they lowered it.
And I mean, like top 100 pretty much now means you won all 30 games.
Yeah, so on PlayStation, you could go 30-0 and you might not even get top 100. That's the worst part about it. So I was on PlayStation for after I signed with, so I've always been on Xbox. I ended up signing with, or whenever I signed with FC Dallas, they wanted me on PlayStation. Like, I'm not sure as to really why. Maybe just like to get used to like the controllers and all that stuff. Which like after I got used to the controllers, I was like, okay. So I moved back to Xbox and PlayStation. I was dropping like 29 and ones. I got a 30, and I got top 100 and all that stuff on PlayStation. But on Xbox, I just kind of feel like I might get roasted by a lot of people for saying this, but the competition on Xbox is a lot harder than the competition on PlayStation, because the competition on PlayStation, there's so many casual players. Xbox, the people that are on Xbox stuck with Xbox on FIFA, even though it has a more expensive market, less transfers and all that stuff, like less, players you can buy and all that stuff compared to PlayStation. So I just kind of felt like FIFA was like a good, Xbox was like a good way to like keep my skills going forward for the rest of the season. And then unfortunately, our eMLS season got cut short. So I'm hoping to keep the momentum going into next year.
Are there many tournaments that involve going cross-platform at all?
No, unfortunately, that's the biggest thing, is that FIFA needs to get with the times and start being cross-platform somehow, some way. Like there's no cross-platform and everything. So it's Xbox versus Xbox, PlayStation versus PlayStation, and all that stuff. So it's a little sad because I feel like, you could end the debate once and for all, but someone that's played multiple, I've played 1,000 games on both PlayStation and Xbox on FIFA 20. And I will 100% say that the people on Xbox are better than the people on PlayStation.
Well, I play on PlayStation, so I'm gonna just cry myself to sleep tonight then.
Well, sorry about that, but yeah, I want to definitely say like in like the upper tier level in terms of like on weekend league and all that stuff. Like you have people that are, like the elite players on Xbox are different than the elite players on PlayStation, in my opinion.
Interesting. Do you know that if many other of the eMLS players play both, or are they all PlayStation?
I know a lot of them that actually play either both or just are on Xbox by itself. Most of them are on PlayStation, but a lot of them are also on Xbox. It's you got a good split. You don't have everybody on one console, which is good because like if we still have to play each other, like we still end up matching each other. It's always fun playing another eMLS player just because bragging rights are on the line. Definitely.
You obviously had the eMLS tournament special with Fafa Picault. Really unfortunate that Sean Johnson was just insane and nabbed that golden goal against Fafa.
Mm-hmm.
How was that experience?
It was crazy, honestly. If you would have told me like 2 months ago, hey, you're going to be on television, I'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, did I do something amazing or something? Like, did I win an award or, but it's just, playing with like, Fafa and then talking with also like the likes of like Sean Johnson and, just like MLS players just, and like also their national team players, they're not just, anybody, they're national team players. And, it's just like, you just listen to them talk just because like you realize, okay, they are like us, like they're, how they respect or like how we respect their game for what they do on the real pitch. They respect our game, what we do on the virtual pitch. So, it was really cool. I feel like, me and Fafa were texting during during the taping or during whenever we were watching it. And me and him both just got so upset. We were like, dang, man, like we had it. Like we both played really, really well. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And that was, the toughest thing about it. Just seeing all the chances that we missed. And like, especially me, someone that's so critical on my game. And I know Fafa is also very critical on his game, even, in real life. And I'm sure it translates to FIFA. Like, we wanted to win so bad. Me and Fafa were practicing. We were doing all the things. And I feel like we honestly deserved more than, that. We were playing insane. The ball just didn't go in the back of the net.
Yeah, it was nuts. Week 3 and had gone through all the games and not had a goalless game so far, and then you get 4 in a row. I mean, how does that happen?
Like, I kind of wish they showed more of the Houston game, like for both me and Fafa, because I had a lot of chances that they didn't even show. The ball just wouldn't go in the back of the net. And same with Fafa. Like Fafa had a few chances as well. And, I just like, I remember just like me and him just talking about it after. We were just like, dang, like we should have scored so many goals, like especially in the Houston game. Like the Houston game should have never have gone into, golden goal. There was a chance that I had a breakaway in the Houston game. It was very early on. They just never showed it. And, my Houston, Mamito, the Houston opponent, was just holding the ball. And I'm kind of glad they didn't show that part, I guess, because yeah, he was like the first, I don't know how long it was, but honestly, I don't think I touched the ball for the first like 25 in-game minutes in the second half. Just because he was just passing the ball in the back and all that stuff. So, the New York City game was definitely close. I feel like I had a lot of chances. Fafa had a lot of chances. He hit the post as well. Like he was slinging them in there. They should have gone in, but Sean's a great keeper in real life and in FIFA. So, they just kind of got that. The fact that I held Diddy to no goals as well, and I feel like I deserved that win against Diddy, and I can tell him that, and I will tell him that. I feel like I was playing really good. I was listening to the announcers. They were saying that I had no chance and Diddy was going to take it. But I feel like I locked Diddy up. I had more chances than he did. He had maybe like 1 or 2, but I feel like I had like 3 or 4. So, it was tough. But, all things considered, it was a great experience for sure.
Definitely. And I think, for the context of it, you had the better of an MLS Cup winner and a UEFA Champions League finalist. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Exactly. And I mean, even then, like Diddy, he won the virtual Champions League last year.
Oh, sorry, I thought he was runner-up in that. Okay.
No. Then
a Champions League winner.
Yeah, so he won the Champions League last year, FIFA 19. So, it's crazy. He's obviously a great guy, great player as well. So it was fun for sure.
Definitely, it was. It was nuts. I mean, it was a little bit aggravating when every game cut in like the 26th minute. So I'm like, I want to see that early stage whenever I play against anyone. Which I'm not a big online player, so it's kind of rare. But whether it's FIFA or any of the first-person shooter games or anything, those first few minutes you're kind of feeling it out, and it's. I think if you ever watch any streams, that's kind of the interesting part, to see how people set up. It would have been nice.
Yeah, that's you're spot on completely. I mean, like that's what we do in qualifiers. Every game in the first half of qualifiers is you and your opponent just figuring each other out. There's no way that a game will be done by the first half of the qualifier. Like everybody's just playing it slow, seeing what their opponent does, picking them apart, trying to, and then that's how I play especially. So that's why I guess I didn't have as much success in eMLS in Philadelphia and Portland is due to the fact it's only one game against each person, right? So in qualifiers, you get two games. You play the first leg and second leg. Obviously, it's aggregate. And, first game, you're not like doing too much crazy stuff. You're just like trying, take like a 2-goal lead maybe, or if you're down by 1, okay, that's not the end of the world. That second game, you know how to do it. But, at the eMLS tournaments, you only get one game to play someone. So I just didn't even really have like a good, especially in Philly. So Portland, I played a lot better in Portland than I did in Philly. And in Philly, I had no idea what I was doing because it was only one game. I had no idea how to really approach the games. Am I going to go attacking? Am I going to go this? And then Portland, I just kind of feel like there was probably 4 games in Portland that I should have won that I ended up either tying or losing. And those 4 games, if I would have won those 4 games, I would have been at the live event. So it's really tough, but you learn a lot definitely playing against like the best people in North America.
Definitely. It's kind of interesting as well where it's like an in-person tournament. And I remember, at least I didn't get to go to the series last year at the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember seeing how they had it set up, and it was like a LAN setup in the locker room, and everyone is like shoulder to shoulder playing on an individual monitor. It seemed kind of chaotic.
It really is. That's another thing. Like that was a big wake up call for me whenever in Philly, because it was my first like LAN tournament, and obviously LAN is everybody like is in the same room, same everything, and you got people screaming to your right, to your left, banging on the desk whenever they miss a chance, and you're in the middle of the game, and it's like they tell people not to do that, but some people are like they start screaming, they start doing this. They don't care if you scream. You can cuss your brains out. The Chicago player did nothing but cuss. Like everybody heard him. And that kind of just like throws you off, because like, especially like whenever you're used to playing, like for me, you're just used to playing like in your office, in your game room, your man cave, whatever it may be. And you just have your headphones on and you're just chilling by yourself. You don't have to worry about someone next to you, to your right, to your left, behind you, anything. You go to these events and there's people all around you, in front of you, behind you, to your right, to your left, diagonally. It's like everywhere there's people around you and you're just trying to play. So that was a big wake-up call for me in Philly. I was not expecting that. And Portland, I feel like I played so much better, and it just unfortunately just didn't work out in my favor.
So in Portland, how was it set up in the stadium? Was it kind of like that whole locker room deal, or was there?
So both places, so in Philly and in Portland, they were both like in the clubhouses. So clubhouses overlooking the field. So I mean, you could see everything. Like it was really nice. Like they were both like it was a really nice setup for both of them. It's just whenever I went to Portland, I was more prepared for that mentally. And I also brought headphones. Whenever I was in Philly, I didn't bring headphones. I just had normal AirPods that people could scream through, people could distract me through, all that stuff. So whenever I went to Portland, I just had like noise canceling headphones, turned them up max. I just did not want to hear anything outside of my thoughts and all that stuff. So it was better. I want to say it was better in Portland because also in Philly, we had a lot of disconnects. So like we were literally being a random middle of the game. You could honestly I was on an attacking chance and the game just disconnected for like everybody. And it just, stuff like that happened. In Portland, we didn't run into any of those problems. It was pretty smooth sailing the whole time.
Wow, that's rough.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like people, like don't really realize that, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the back of the scenes that people might not know. But it's definitely a good memory. It's a crazy to think that, I get to represent FC Dallas. I really wish, like, I'm a very competitive person. I wanted nothing more than to win and bring home whatever, like that championship that Fiddle won both times. Nothing that I wanted more than that. And, I would love a chance at redemption. I'm a little upset that the season got cut short due to, what's going on, but I'm taking this time to prepare just in case they do something. Something's on call, whatever happens, I'm ready to go.
You mentioned Fiddle winning Series 1 and 2. Last year it was Dorster,
Hmm.
yeah, who just winning everything. What kind of is it? It seems to be like a whole form factor. Is it just kind of who reacts best at the time, or are there really the nuances in each season's game?
I would definitely say that if you're feeling it, if you're confident going into, not just confident, if you're playing well, like for example, like yeah, I guess your form does kind of like you have to be like spot on, like the like going into it. Like for example, for the taping for the event for the eMLS special, I feel like I was playing really well because the weekend prior to it, I was playing out of my mind. I even texted Fafa. I said, "Listen, I'm confident in how I'm playing defensively. I just played a full weekend league, finished 29-1, and I think I allowed a total of like 12 goals all weekend." So I told him, I was like, I'm very confident. I'm playing really good defensively, and I feel like that showed as well during the eMLS tournament special. So going into like Fiddle and Dolsta, yeah, you could definitely say that they were also like feeling themselves. Like they knew what they were doing was right. Don't change it. Their confidence was at a sky high. And, like obviously FIFA also does require some luck. And sometimes the luck is just bouncing your way. So, Fiddle kept his head. He's a great player, very great player. Um, and, he brought it home both times.
Oh, and I probably should have said it at the time, but I really appreciate the Chicago stuff. Maybe we should get like an Brimstone Cup going there.
Yeah, I mean, I just actually beat him during the. I'm not sure if you during the FC Dallas charity stream last Saturday, the Saturday that just passed. Um, I beat him, so right now technically FC Dallas homes the Brimstone Cup right now. So I got that for us.
Weird, because normally it appears at my house randomly, and it hasn't done that yet. um, so actually, yeah. Speaking of those streams are cool. I it'd be great to see more people watching those and
Hmm.
contributing to those, because they are a charitable donation event. They're getting to see you and the other eMLS players, you know, having a few games and really the interaction in that. I think Michael does a great job of moderating those, and it's great. I mean, who are you playing this week?
So this week I'm playing Duelsta actually. I've played so far. I've played the first week that we did it. We played LAFC Remy Martin. He took that win. And then second week I played Jay Adams from Minnesota. I took that win. Then the week after that, I played one of my best friends in the eMLS scene, who I was actually friends with before we both signed with our respective clubs. Colorado Gonzo, I beat him as well. And then this week I beat um, Chicago's player, which is BITW. So upcoming, I'll be playing Duelsta on Friday, I believe. They changed it instead of Saturday. It's going to be done on Friday this week instead. So that works perfectly for me. I'm excited to play him. Whenever I played him at eMLS, I believe we tied whenever we played in Portland. So that was another game right there that I should have won, that I had a chance late on in the game and I just missed it. He actually tackled me again. So I had two chances late in the game against Dulsta, some eMLS history. I had a chance in like the 85th minute. I missed it. And then I had a chance again in like the 92nd minute. Last man back, he just tackled me. He did not care. He got the red card, but the game ended. So, I mean, that's what you got to do to get the point sometimes. And, he felt like that was what he had to do. So definitely looking for some revenge against him. But he's a great guy, really cool dude, really cool, humble guy. And, it'll be a good game for sure.
Definitely. And the first big transfer in eMLS, that move from Philly to Nashville.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Like there was a full-on transfer. He went from one team to another. I'm trying to think of if there anybody that's done that, but I don't think so. I mean, just new people came in.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. I mean, it's interesting. I definitely appreciate more the value of you representing your actual team. But I mean, it's cool to have that opportunity. I think it was. They paid his ride for the rest of his studies at Temple, which is that's pretty sweet to say. Hey, I'm coming out with no student debt.
Yeah, absolutely. Nashville gave him a great offer, and I'm sure that's what he wanted. So all credit goes out to him. He deserved it. He was the best player in FIFA 19 in North America last year. So he deserves it, and. I wish him the best of luck in the future as well, and hope that, his success continues. Just not against me, but, anywhere in life, for sure.
So we'll be able to see on Friday on it's on the FC Dallas Twitch page, right?
Right, FC Dallas Twitch page. And then after FC Dallas Twitch, after the FC Dallas stream, I will be streaming over on my channel, and I'll be playing some Weekend League on my account. And just hanging out with anybody that wants to come and hang out. It's always, I like talking to people as much as I possibly can. As you can see, I talk a lot. So anytime people just want to come by and hang out, I'm live on my own Twitch channel as well after that.
And we'll definitely include the links for that everywhere. And if people do stop by, occasionally they may see a couple of FC Dallas players stop by as well, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm cool. I talk to Fafa a lot. I talk to Jesus a lot. He's always trying to play with me on FIFA and all that stuff. And schedules have been kind of rough lately, but me and Jesus definitely played some co-op seasons together on stream, so that was a good time. And it always is with those guys. They're great. They're great guys. And it's always fun just talking to them, picking their brains about, like how, like their favorite moment as like a, MLS player. And a lot of them, it's like their first international or their first goal, their first appearance or something like that. And also Jesus did both in the same game. So, that's definitely a special moment for him. And it's just cool. Just like talk to them, pick their brains about like traveling and all that stuff is just so cool. Being the life of a pro athlete is just very cool. So, it's cool to get a chance to talk to them for sure.
So playing Jesus and Fafa pretty regularly, who's the better player?
Don't put me on the spot like that. Don't put me on the spot like that. That's, they're both great players. I honestly don't even know. I'm actually trying to give you an answer, but just thinking about it, they're both great players. I don't, Fafa has his Fafa knows what he's doing, but so does Jesus. Man, I don't even know. Like I don't even know. They're both so good. I've gotten the better of both of them whenever we've played, but they both put up great matchups against me. So. I don't want to. I'm not going to say anything because I can't pick.
I remember when we spoke a couple of weeks ago. You mentioned that you told Fafa he should go for his pro card.
Yeah, absolutely. Fafa, especially like you guys saw, like from the live event, from the eMLS tournament special. Fafa was doing a lot of things right. He was playing sound defensively. He was playing good offensively. He knew what he was doing. So I just kind of feel like, he should go start playing some Ultimate Team, contact EA, tell them, hey, I want my pro card, and then he should let me use it. So he should just definitely get on that Ultimate Team grind. So should Jesus, man. I told them both about it, and I just kind of feel like it'd be really cool to see them build their Ultimate Team and see who they would put, especially with their pro cards. Essentially all pro cards are good enough. You can play them anywhere, but they're both obviously strikers, so I'm sure they put themselves on top.
That's cool. You need to get the entire roster going and have like a real co-op seasons there.
Oh, I would absolutely love to do that. That would be so much fun. Like a pro clubs team or something like
with
that.
actual FC Dallas.
Yeah, that would be so much fun. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm definitely gonna see what I can do and try to get that going.
So the tournament special, was very cool. Getting to see FS1 on FS1, as we sort of mentioned. Coming into the last week before the semis and the final, from what you've seen the first 3 weeks and who who's your pick to win it all?
My pick to win it all is honestly the Atlanta. I'm gonna put Atlanta to win it all. They got Paulo Neto, who's the 4th ranked player in the world, not just in America or in North America. Or like this man. Atlanta went to Brazil. They got a player that was literally one of the best players in the world, not just from weekend league or anything like that. He makes every single event. I honestly don't think anybody can beat him. So I would put all my money on Atlanta. I would put all my money on them.
Is he new with Atlanta this year?
Yeah. So they had rated Hugo last year, and then they went and got Paulo Neto this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
I'm telling you, they went out to Brazil and they just got their talent, which is a lot of people in eMLS, I'll tell you, are very not. They think it's a little unfair. I guess just because he's also so good, and he doesn't even live in America. He lives in Brazil, so I'm just gonna put all my money on him.
Definitely. What's the mix like between guys who are local in their MLS market and who are kind of outsourced like that?
I don't really know many that are outsourced. I want to say maybe like 1 or 2 other ones are outsourced. Maybe like the Vancouver kid, Extra. I don't think he lives actually in Vancouver. I think he lives somewhere in Canada, but not in Vancouver. But I believe everybody else is pretty close to their market. I know Gonzo, he lives right next to he lives in Denver, so obviously him and Colorado Rapids works out perfectly. I know Remy lives, which is the LAFC guy. He lives in LA. So does, excuse me, LA Galaxy's player lives in LA, and Diddy, George, they both live in New York, and they're both the New York players. So. I kind of want to say that they're both definitely, or everybody pretty much is as local as possible, which I think is the best thing to do it, honestly. Obviously, Houston, Mamito lives in Houston. Sorry, I'm just kind of naming off everybody right now.
Yeah, I'd be sorry if I lived in Houston too.
Yeah, no, me too. My cousin actually lives in Houston, but he's a diehard FC Dallas fan too. So
that's good then.
Yeah, so... I definitely kind of feel like most teams are all local grown players, nice. I guess you can say.
Definitely. That's a good thing. I mean, you want to engage supporters and kind of get them on board with the MLS team and, make the call. And I know a lot of people say they can't get into esports and, I can't get into Overwatch League personally. Mm-hmm. I like playing Rocket League, but watching it gives me a headache.
Right.
But I feel like FIFA is good because it's your teams, it's players in your area. It's something that you it's easier to digest as a soccer fan, and certainly I feel you can get on board with.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely people that are like fighting for the badge, I guess you can say. People are excited to represent not just their team, but they're also representing their city, their state, that's something that's crazy to me, it's just it's really cool to get behind someone like that's just it's like essentially it's just you're rooting for them because they are, you're like essentially like your player like of your team that you love, and that's what we are. Like, we're not athletes, not professional athletes, but we're still professionals in what we do. And some people say, "Oh no, you're a professional athlete. You're a professional athlete." But I'm just like, I mean, oh yeah, I'm a professional in a set, like professional athlete in a way, I guess. But I'm more virtual than I kind of feel like it's great. I feel like every team in MLS should have a player. I know there's like 3 or 4 teams that don't have a player, and I just kind of feel like it's weird. Um, like give people something to stand behind besides just the, like virtually, like, because we're doing stuff more times than, the real players in a sense, like, they can't go watch their practices really. They can't do that. Like we get on, we stream, we make YouTube videos. Some of us do it anyway. And, we're just like, we're putting out content for the team, supporting the team, doing all that stuff. And it's just something that you can just support, whether or not it's, I don't watch Overleague either. Like I don't watch, or the Overwatch League or Rocket League or anything like that. I honestly just stick to straight, FIFA, just because even like before I was a pro player, I was always like watching people play FIFA just because, I guess, I guess I was competitive too, but it was just interesting. Like it's entertainment at the end of the day. Like it's something to watch. You know what I mean? So for me, I just feel like it's something that a lot of people should get behind. eMLS is probably the most talented overall league in the world for esports in FIFA. German has its own league, Premier League and all that stuff, but I still feel like we have some of the top players in the world all in one league. So it's really fun, and people should easily get behind it.
Absolutely, and hopefully we'll see the numbers on the streams bumping up. I seem to remember when you played Remy Martin that LAFC put out a thing that I think it was like 18,000 people were watching the stream. That's I mean that's more than turns up for an FC Dallas game when it sells out.
Yeah, LAFC just, I don't know, they got their diehard fans. They're doing something. They're I don't even know how they're doing it. They're promoting it every day, every week, every second. They're doing something. They're making sure that people know we're streaming at this time. We're going to be doing this and all that stuff. So, their fan base is incredible. Obviously, so is Dallas's, but LAFC right now, they have so much hype behind them. So, and, Remy's a great player too. They got, Max, commentating over the game. And it's just, they got a full production side going on for sure.
That's really cool. That is awesome. I guess the dream is having Followill commentating on FIFA now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's it's going to be there for sure.
That would be awesome. I'm sure he'd be up for it as well. For the FIFA players out there, favorite FC Dallas player to play on FIFA?
To play on FIFA. I mean, so Jesus has actually been carrying me on FIFA. He has 4-star weak foot, 3-star skills. Now they upgraded him. So he's been killing it for me. He scores like a hat trick a game for me. So, he's so good on FIFA. So is Reggie. He's so fast. I'm just, if I get cut out of position defensively, I know that I can rely on him to be there and just stop my opponent. So I'm definitely going to put those two up there. Hedges is also a tank in the mid in the back line. Sorry, and then you got obviously Santos just in the midfield, just winning every ball before it even gets to my defense. So, I definitely think those are my top players to use. They're honestly they are why I win in my competitions for sure.
Do you use Tanner Tessman much? I know since they added him into the game, they made him insanely good.
They added him in, yeah, I saw that, and I used him whenever we did like the 85 rated with Chicago. He was probably the most well-rounded player that I've used. Definitely, he was really good. He is he's a great player, you know.
5-star
Um,
weak foot too.
Yep.
That's,
I whenever I saw that, I was like, ooh, you know, I gotta definitely put him in the starting squad, and you know, he was really fun to play with for sure. He had the most well-rounded stats out of anybody for sure.
it's kind of funny because when he signed his pro deal, he has his own podcast with uh, goodness my Johan Gomez and Judson Burns, both played in the academy,
Hmm.
and he kind of made a joke about, if I had a FIFA card, it would be this, 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 and every bit of it was what went into the game.
Oh, really? No, I
So
never knew that. That's crazy.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think everyone should just make their own stats up now.
everybody needs to also just get their pro cards. Like if any FC Dallas players listen to this, do me a favor, get your pro card, contact EA, do something, get your pro card, get your 3 free icons, and just start tearing people up, and let's just start playing against each other for
So,
sure.
so what does the pro card consist of?
So it's a special design too. It's just like 99 everything. They could be a defender. They would have 99 attacking, 99 defense, 99 like passing, dribbling, pace, everything. It's just a cracked out card, the best card you could possibly get, and obviously no one can buy it. EA just gifts it to you as long as you verify your account with them and all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure that's how you do it. There might be like a few things in the background that you probably have to do as well, but you know, it's just an overly insane powerful card that you could be using, and just obviously it's a great time. You know, like EA also gives you like 3 free icons, any icon. So usually people get either Hullet or you know R9 or Ronaldinho or something like that, just to like fill out their team around them, and then you know just start enjoying yourself and start playing, and you know because that's where honestly the more fun is. I don't think seasons. Is as fun as Ultimate Team. Once I found Ultimate Team, I honestly stopped playing other games. You know, like so that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, it'd be good to see some of the players getting competitive with each other. I know, Matt Hedges was always the big gamer. Now Reggie, but they're all playing around on Modern Warfare and Fortnite and
Um,
stuff like that. And it's like, no, get back to
Modern
FIFA.
Warfare is a lot of fun. I will say. If I'm not playing FIFA, I'm definitely on Warzone. So if any of them want to play with me as well, you know, I'm pretty good at it. So if they want to play, just let me know.
And someday I'll even get past the little training ground you have to do first. I
Absolutely. No, whenever you
suck
do,
at
you
that.
let me know. It's really fun. The game is really fun. They did a really good job with it.
Definitely. Yeah, it's. I mean, I definitely fell out of love with the games after the first Modern Warfare. Didn't really like the online play too much, and then the games just started falling apart quite a bit.
Hmm.
Actually, I remember every time I talk to Matt Hedges, it's always, "Hey, what are you playing now?" And asking his opinion on games, and he he went out of his way to tell me not to buy Call of Duty World War Two because I was like, "Oh, cool, they're getting back to what they would originally did really well." And he's like, "No, it's terrible. Don't buy it." I
Oh,
didn't
that's.
listen to him. I wish I did.
I mean, I actually like that one. So maybe Matt's a hardcore Call of Duty player. I need to ask him a few things. Actually, the crazy thing about Matt Hedges is this is kind of like a fanboy story. Before I signed with FC Dallas, and I was like going into like the meeting and all that stuff to meet everybody. Um, I saw Matt Hedges in the parking lot, and I wanted to go up to him and say, "Hey, like, you know, how are you doing?" Like, he had no idea who I was, or anything like that. But I wanted to just say something, but I didn't. I kind of regret it. I just let him go. I was like, you know, he's doing his thing, and then he was actually the first FC Dallas player to follow me on Twitter whenever I saw like whenever my announcement went live that I signed with FC Dallas. So I haven't talked to him, but you know that's just a funny story actually. So
He was definitely one of the first Twitch adopters that I knew. So there's a good chance when you're streaming over the weekend, he'll be sitting there watching.
uh, he's more than welcome. I'd love to talk to him about a few things. Pick his brain on a few things as well. So you know they're all welcome. I'd love to also play against them too. Play with them on Call of Duty. I feel like that'd be really fun. We could also stream like a squad Call of Duty. If anybody wants to play. So. feel like that'd be a really good time.
That'd be cool. Beats some of the stuff. I remember the players used to really be into the mobile games like the Clash of Clans, Boom Beach. It'd be good to see them on some real games and streaming some stuff would be fantastic.
Yeah, especially like, right now. I mean, training. I saw that a few trainings. Like some teams can start training and all that stuff. So, hopefully they still have some time and we can definitely get those going for sure.
Definitely. Well, thank you ever so much for joining us. Where can people find you on Twitch and on social media?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you again so much for having me. Thank you for letting me just ramble. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And if anybody wants to talk to me, get a few questions in or anything, you can come and follow me on Twitter. I need to start tweeting more. That's one thing. I'm always on Twitter. I see almost every tweet, but I don't tweet. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter is at I9Ibs, I9IBBS. So if you want to follow me on there, that'd be much appreciated. And then also I will be streaming more frequently on Twitch, twitch.tv/I9Ibs. And I will definitely, look forward to talking to all of you guys on there. And again, thank you to Dan and everybody for having me on the podcast. It's been a great opportunity for me. Third Degree, you guys are doing an amazing job. So keep it up, and hopefully we can talk again soon.
Definitely look forward to it, and apologize in advance for some terrible FIFA or PS4 friend requests you're going to get now.
Oh no, you're fine. Bring it on in. It's all good.
I mean, as the supporters groups definitely have a lot of people who are into playing FIFA. I've been trying to convince them to have a tournament or something. That'd be fun.
The crazy thing is that I've seen a lot of people like doing like a tournament and all that stuff like that. I'm in a like group of, like for, like my fan groups, like either Arsenal or FC Dallas or something like that. I just don't join because I feel bad. Like I don't tell people. So I don't broadcast to people, hey, I'm FC Dallas Pro, like on social media. I have a specific Twitter for my, FIFA, like, I9Ibs and all that stuff. But outside, no one knows that I'm the FC Dallas Pro unless like they're like close friends or something like that. So I just I don't want it to be unfair, I guess, in a sense. I just I want people to have fun, and I don't like joining in these tournaments. But you guys, I would love to like see who wins, and then maybe whoever wins can play me. So it'd be a cool shout for sure.
That would be awesome. And you know what? Don't feel bad about beating anyone. I remember when the supporters did a 24-hour tailgate at the start of the year. They used to have a company based out of Collin Creek Moor, it was. They would come out and set up a little system and do a FIFA tournament, and you would suddenly see like a dozen kids that had never been to an FC Dallas game before, and they would just wipe the floor with everyone. And you know what? That's fair enough. People had fun. They got some money at the end of it. Everybody kind of won. So. Yeah,
I mean, you never know. There are some hidden freaks out there that have no idea how good they actually are. I mean, look at me. I out of nowhere, within a full year, I was, in the top. So, you never know. People will definitely surprise you.
Well, I know that's not me.
You never know. You never know.
Well, thanks again, Ihab. And thank you also, FC Dallas Curious fan. We will be back next week as Buzz resumes his oral history of Dallas Burn and FC Dallas. So join us once again on Third Degree, the podcast.